Hotep family, brothers and sisters, welcome back to another edition of Truth Seekers. The spiritual lesbian, truth be told. Now, let me start this video off by just asking a question. What is it that we want? We, as in black people. What is it that you want? When you think about your family, when you think about your life, when you think about your happiness, when you think about your longevity, your comfort, your security, what comes to your mind? How do you see yourself achieving those things for you and your family? Well, I'll tell you what. You see, this is the thing that what so many of us don't seem to realize is that it's questions like that make us all more connected, more related, you understand what I'm saying, than we realize we really are. Because at the end of the day, we all, deep down inside, aspire and desire the same things. Happiness, peace, comfortability, financial security, to be loved, and to simply be, to simply live. So, when you think of that, and then we look outside and we look around our neighborhoods and we see how displaced we are as a people, and the way we behave towards one another, all of the hatred, all of the animosity. What is that? I mean, in knowing that you want the same things that I just mentioned, I want those things, okay? Those are the things that my mother wanted for me. Those are the things that my father wanted for me. You know, for us, as a unit, as a family, for themselves, as individuals. So, if we all want the same things, why is it that we cannot seem to get this thing together? Why is it that we cannot seem to understand and realize that we are fighting ourselves? You see, when you fight your brother, when you kill your brother, kill your sister, you killing yourself. You fighting yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Summum bonum, which is what the ancient African Egyptians called which was the greater good. How to live your life in a way, or fashion your life to be the greater good, the best you that you can be. One thing we need to understand about we as a people, the African people, this is why I always tell people, know thyself. Knowing yourself is so much more than just knowing your name, knowing your address. You know, when you're young and you're a child, that's what your mother tell you, right? Before you go to school, that first day of kindergarten, daycare, whatever have you, you taught how to spell your name. Most of us, many of us, well, at least we all should be. Okay, you taught your phone number, you taught your address, things of that nature, but to truly know yourself, means so much more than that. And you would think that if at the end of the day, like I said, and I'm going to say it one more time, we all aspire for the same things. We all want the same things deep down inside. Okay? What's the problem? Why does it seem as though we hate each other so? Where did all of that start from? Let's go back. Let's go back to a time when it was like this. You got the gods here, the goddesses here. A time when it was all about the red, the black, and the green. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go back to a time of, Goddess Nefertiti and Isis. Okay, let's go back to these days and let's try to figure out what happened. What happened? How is it that in these days we were able to live in such peace and harmony? And because if you are black, which I'm pretty sure the vast majority of you who actually even watch my channel, watch any of my videos, you are black. If we go back into the days of antiquity, the days of our ancestors, our ancient ancestors, we all know, because we've all heard and we've all been told or taught, that our people were a loving people, a stellar people, okay, a godly people, a nature, spiritual people, okay? And everything we did revolved around the way the universe moved, the cosmos, the sun, the moon, and all the stars, and the whole solar system. You understand what I'm saying? The seasons. And we all just lived in harmony. Of course we had problems. Of course we had indifferences. But at the end of the day, we knew how to balance those differences out. We knew how to, when, let's say, if I got mad at you, you ain't just come and kill me because I made you upset. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't, if you had a bad day at work, you didn't just come home and beat the crap out your wife, okay, or beat on your children. We knew how to balance that out. What's missing from us right now today that we don't know how to balance that out no more? Like, we all off balance. We all out of harmony. You know what it was? Why the ancestors, now these are the goddesses, okay? Now, but you see, the goddesses always depict with some type of animal heading or headdress, okay? Like Goddess Ma'at, she has the ostrich feather, okay? But one thing we need to understand is that, or at least we should know, is that the gods were not people. Yeah, they were depicted with human bodies, but they were not people. Okay, they all symbolize, how can I say this? How do I want to say this? They all symbolize characteristics and attributes that we all, as people, as human beings, as gods, okay, or as aspects of God, having the human experience, they were to let us know, okay, speaking in terms of the gods and the goddesses, were basically to let us know and to let us see that these are all of the qualities that each and every one of us possesses. And if we just only tune into our true self, we can reach each and every one of those parts of our natural nature or ability, if you will. So, what happened? Like I said a moment ago, what happened that got us all off course? You know what I mean? Why is it that back then we were able to live in harmony? Now, some of you may say something like, well, it wasn't a lot of people back then. You know what I'm saying? And the world wasn't overpopulated, and, they didn't have to pay taxes, and they didn't have to worry about getting up and going to work. And, it's just a whole bunch of things they didn't have to do. And, life was just so much simpler, and it was easier for them. So they could be more peaceful back then. Okay, if you want to think of it in that way, I'll entertain that thought. But they did have to work. They might not have had to work the way we know work today, such as, wake up early in the morning, get up, jump in your car, get on a bus, a train, or whatever have you, a bike, or whatever your form of transportation is, and go to a job, punch a time clock, work a certain amount of hours for a certain minimum wage or wage, and be paid a certain amount of money at the end of a week or 2-week time span. Okay? Now, yeah, their type of work back then was not equivalent to the work we do now today. You understand what I'm saying? For them, they pretty much were all working for themselves, if you will. Tilling their own ground, growing their own vegetation, farming their own animals, and, trading what they had, the goods that they had, for other things that they may not have had. Okay? And just basically living on the land the way nature intended for man and woman to live, just living. You understand what I'm saying? Without all of the rigmarole, without all the hustle and the bustle, you need to pay taxes, you can't live here, you got to have a permit, you got to have this. No. They were living, living. You understand what I'm saying? But it was more than that. It was more than that. It was a natural thing. It was something that was just in them. In them. When I say in them, I'm talking about ancestors, of course. Y'all know that. It was something that was in them that kept them in balance. You understand what I'm saying? Kept that kind of balance, kept that kind of peace of mind that didn't want to make you, go out and just shoot your brother down, shoot your sister down, or just get so irate, get so, upset that you just, I can't take it no more. You understand what I'm saying? You got to go outside and you got to hurt something. You got to hurt someone, maim someone. You understand what I'm saying? There was a calmness. I'm going to tell you what I think the calmness was. Our spiritual connection. Yes, that's what I believe it was. We were spiritually connected back then, more so than we are today. Today, we all out of whack. We all out of whack with the universe. We all out of whack with our natural selves. We just all out of whack. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse me. Look at that fly. Yeah, we just all out of whack. You know what I mean? And we just all out of whack with ourselves. See, you have to remember that African spirituality, the African spirituality system, is the oldest spiritual, or if you want to say religious system in the world. African spirituality. And there was a time, I'm talking about before Zoroastrian, I'm talking about before Judaism, I'm talking about before Hinduism, I'm talking about before Buddhism, I'm talking about before, Islam, Christianity, I'm talking about before any of that, okay? And, it was African spirituality. That was it. You understand what I'm saying? That was it. That's what was being taught. Even the Druids. Okay, the Irish, okay, in Ireland, they even were killed, murdered, because they too were practicing the African spirituality system. Yes, these were white folks, okay? But everyone was practicing it. You understand what I'm saying? The Greeks make it no secret. Many of great Greek historians have said, especially Herodotus. Herodotus always gave credit and praise to the Ethiopians, to the Africans, for their beauty, for their culture. And Greeks knew then and were worshiping the same system that we were worshiping. And what happened? What happened? So if everybody was living in this somewhat balance, in this somewhat peace, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we had, our little riffs or whatever have you here and there, but if at the end of the day, for the most part, everyone was living in this somewhat peace, this somewhat balance, what happened? What happened? How did we allow this thing to take over us and just knock us all off course? So much so that we can't even get back on course. I mean, there is an awakening going on. There is an uprising in the horizon, okay? Yes, there is an awakening going on. Black people, African people are awakening to your true Africanism all over the world, all over the universe. It's a universal thing, baby. As I said in one of my previous videos, nature will return to its natural state. It will. It has, it's nature. It's going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? But until then, and I'm so glad it's happening because I want to see it happen. But what's going on with the ones of you that are still in this stupor? Now you can sit back and you can say, oh, the man got his, his foot on my neck. See, that's all dead now. It's about time that we really stop, using that. You know what I'm saying? The man got his foot on my neck or whatever you're using, blaming it on the man. You understand what I'm saying? Because right now, today, we can't even blame it on them no more. Sure, we can blame it on them for planting the seed. But right now, today, with all of the information, and y'all know I always say this, with all the information that's out there being made, that we are being made privy of, there is no excuse for anyone to still be sitting back talking about, oh, well, the man. What man? That invisible man you keep talking about? I mean, okay, yeah, the Caucasoid, you know what I'm saying? The Eurocentric, the European rather, yeah, they exist. They exist. But I mean, really, come on, let's think about this, man. When did all of this Western civilization start? All this colonization start? What we talking about? Somewhere between the 1600s. Okay, when did the Crusades start? When did all of this the voyaging, the discovery, the age of discovery, and all of the voyages start? Christopher Columbus was 1492. Okay, and then we had all of the other pilgrimages that took place, afterwards, the Vikings, the Dutch, and, the Portuguese, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, all of these years ago, really, we've been knowing the truth since before we were set free. More of us knew the truth, okay, back when we were slaves, than we seem to know right now. It's a big, now, there's something wrong with that picture. You know why I say it's something wrong with that picture? I say it's something wrong with that picture because how is it that you a slave? You can't read, you can't write, you ain't allowed to. You can't even leave the plantation, the land, without a pass or permission. Okay? You can't go out and discover new things. But even still, you and your mama and your daddy may not have necessarily been born in Africa. See, your mother and father may have been born right here in good old America. You may have been born here in America. But you know something ain't right with this system. Something is not right with this shit. Because you feel it in your intuition. Okay, that God voice that's in you is telling you this ain't right. This is not how it's supposed to be. So you mean to tell me that right now, today, that God voice, that intuition is not there? It's not talking to you no more. You can't hear it. You can't feel it. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to the ones of you that are continuing to walk around with these blinders on. Okay, I'm speaking to the ones of you that are continuing to hold the ones of us that want to kill the nigger, the Negro, and move on, so that the true African woman and man can live and take its rightful place in nature, in society, in this world. Like right now, I'm just talking to y'all a little bit right now with this one. But that's basically what I'm trying to say to you. That voice you hear inside of you, you need to stop ignoring that voice. We all need to stop ignoring that voice. Because that voice is your intuition. You see, there's layers to this. But we, as African people, we are the only one that has all three complete layers. What do I mean by layers? See, I wish I could have a thing right here where I could put something up here and showed you guys. But let's just think of it like this. Let's just take the red. You see the red up here? Let's just think of the red like this. Now, if this was, okay, let's take this outline of Africa. I'll use this outline of Africa right here. The red, this is the body. The body would be the first line. Your body, this is your body. Now, let's say the black, we gonna say that is the soul. And then the green down here, we gonna say that this is the spirit. The body, the soul, the spirit. Black people are the only people that possess all three. All three. All three. Melanated people, we the only ones that possess all three. Okay, so excuse me when I say that, black people, I meant to say melanated people. Okay? Much better. Melanated people. We are the only ones that possess all three: the body, the soul, and a spirit. Your body consists of what? It consists of your five senses: touch, taste, smell, hearing, and what's the other one? Touch, taste, smell, hearing, and I'm missing one right now. Oh, my bad. Now, what was I saying? I was talking about the body, the five senses, right? Touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight. That's the body, right? Those are the five senses of the body. And then we have the soul. Now, see, animals have soul too. Because the soul, now what does the soul possess? The soul possesses will, emotions, and intuition. Intuition, intellect. This is where we get our intellect from, right? Not intuition, I mean intellect. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the soul. I mean, animals possess this too. But there is one part that no one else possesses except for melanated people. The spirit, your spirit, in your spirit, there is a thing known such as intuition. And that intuition is that voice of your God. That voice of your God who you hear saying to you sometime. Now, I know through Western civilization, we've been taught, most of us, that, that, what I'm saying, that, that's just your gut. That's just your voice. That's just your conscience telling you that, when you're wrong, or you when you shouldn't be doing something. When when you get ready to sneak and you're sneaking and you're trying to maybe take something out of somebody's pocket or do something you ain't supposed to be doing, you get that little voice that go off in your head and it's like, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. That's your intuition. That's your intuition. But at the same time, that is also God. The God in us. And it's that God in us, that part of God that God has endowed each and every one of us with, known as spirit, yokai, something that they don't possess. That's why back then we were able to live in a lot more harmony. See, it don't have nothing to do with all of the chaos that's going on in the world today, because the chaos that's going on with all the wars and the different affairs, with government and whatever have you, economics, sure, that can affect you. That can affect you mentally. It can affect you emotionally. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that should not affect how you treat yourself or how you treat your brother or your sister or your family members. That balance should always be there, because that inner voice, that inner God should always be alive in you, telling you, hey, listen, that ain't right. Don't do that. Don't do that right now. Don't do that. Whatever you're thinking about doing, don't do that. You take that gun and you get rid of it. Don't you do that. Don't you kill your brother. Don't you kill your sister. But it's almost like we done got disconnected from our own spirit. Something that we were endowed with. Okay? Our own spirit. Communion. The communion. Okay? We lost all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's really, really sad. So, this is a new playlist that I created, because I'm trying to break all my stuff down into playlists, so that in certain playlists I'll only deal and talk about certain issues dealing with, let's say, civil rights or laws and things of that nature. And right now, this is my spirituality and truth playlist that I created. So, these are just some things I had on my mind. I'm going to be doing a little bit more on this topic of us getting reconnected with our spiritual side. Okay? Getting reconnected with our spiritual side. Getting back in touch with that spiritual side of us. Getting back in touch with that God in us. Because that's what we need. You understand what I'm saying? You need to come up off your knees. You need to come up off your knees, my brothers and my sisters. If you are down on your knees, bowing down and praying to some false deity, you need to rise up. You need to learn how to meditate. Learn how to close your eyes. Enter into yourself. As it also says in the Bible, Jesus also says, woe unto you preachers, for you hinder the people from the key of knowledge. You enter not into yourselves, and those that enter, ye hinder. But we need to learn how to enter into ourselves again. And that's what this playlist right here, these collections of videos I'm going to do, is going to be geared towards. Okay? So, on that note, I will say, Ashe. Peace be with you. May the rays of Ra always shine down on you and bring positive energy into your life. And fashion your life always and forever around Ma'at, the essence of Ma'at, righteousness, truth, justice, and harmony. That is the only way to live. Ashe.